Hey guys, you're here for the Pyramidion cheese. I was able to solo the 950 Nightfall Ordeal version pretty easily. Just took my time killing every enemy. I had a high impact bow primary with overload rounds, and I had a hand cannon with anti-barrier. Anarchy is what I recommend for heavy. Obviously not everyone has it, but it makes solo a breeze. That's because if you have anti-barrier or overload rounds active while enemies are taking anarchy damage, that damage will count as the perk, allowing you to easily stun and solo barrier and overload champions. Shoot anarchy and then use the barrier or overload rounds. I highly recommend running grenade launcher ammo finder and grenade launcher scavenger on void armor. With those, I always had 2 mags of anarchy to spare. The types of shields you fight are void and arc, so make sure to have those elements. For the opening encounter, I recommend starting off with the snipers first, hit the champion with anarchy, and then switch to anti-barrier and their shield should melt. Repeat as necessary. After killing the goblins, activate 1 plate. Then you can climb the Pyramidion to easily take out all the enemies. From that height, there should be little resistance. Activate the 2nd ring and repeat. I use Slova Bomb as a long-range super. Inside you have a choice. Spawn your sparrow and you can ride it down the left side. If you take your time or you have invis, you can usually make it to the next area, skipping some enemies. This is a fun speedrun strat. If you're not Speed Racer, try and be 2 platforms away from your enemies. If you drop down, the Minotaurs will be in firing range, but if you stay far back, you can fight without resistance. This is where your bow comes in handy. Make your way forwards. If you're trying to be safe, you can hide in the hole in the side of the pit. Sometimes enemies can run into that back hallway, so it's an extra precaution to keep from wiping on the harder difficulties. Just make a couple jumps. I try and get Anarchy to land under the harpies to kill them. There are tips for cheesing the arc lasers, although not needed. You could use your super to tank it: Stormcaller blink, regular blink, Worldline 0 blink, Phoenix dive, Sentinel block, Sword block, Stronghold exotic, Arcstrider block. That is if you're raging mad. The very last laser grid loads slow, so the visuals take a second to catch up with the kill mechanic. This makes it seem like the first bars are extremely long or extremely short, so catch the rhythm before you go down. For the rings, use Anarchy on the champions, bow for the unshielded enemies. When you push up to the first plate, a wave of enemies will spawn, so before you activate any plates, retreat to the spawn area, kill those enemies, and then activate 1 plate at a time. The Hydra shields are pierced by anti-barrier weapons, so while it's rotating, I shoot it and switch weapons when my bow can hit the crits. This provides constant damage. Before going through the lasers, I hug the left corner to take out some enemies. If you have Titans with Ursa Furiosa, they can block while taking damage from the lasers to make orbs for more points and teammate supers. You could probably chain multiple Titan supers to make an orb farm and repeatedly get points. For the confluxes, I use Quick Scan. That's when you double tap the ghost button as it flies into the object. This saves some time and allows you to get out quickly. Focus snipers first, Cyclops, then enemies. Then focus on some of the lower level goblins. Try and kill 1 enemy at a time, retreat if a Minotaur is rushing you. In the boss room, you can start off by hiding under this lip. That way you can use primary to easily damage the boss. Hide behind the wall and kill the enemies. Then activate the plate. Kill enemies. If you crouch behind the wall, you can activate the second plate without getting sniped. Always be careful with his fire blast though. After activating both plates, head to the bottom left corner of the boss. If you stand in this corner, the boss will try to stomp on you, but to no avail, meaning you can once again unload primary ammo while taking no damage. Take out the enemies and get the plate. On the left side, you can crouch and take the plate without getting sniped. Watch the fire. On the other side, you can carefully inch to the plate. If you're on the edge, you won't be sniped. After that, the boss will take damage near spawn. This is a good place to super or launch heavy. For the boss, there are many cheese spots. My favorite is the outside spike. It's hard to get to, but the chance of dying is very slim. I use a combination of looking around and hitting the finisher button to keep from getting kicked AFK. Maybe throw in some emote buttons. Occasionally, you can shoot the boss while he's roaming. You can go on top of the area. The main problem is the boss can kill you with fire through the floor. You can hide under the platform. You might get sniped. There's an invisible platform off the back right. While you can jump and shoot, the boss can also look over the ledge and rain fire for an instant death. My favorite spot is in the back left. There's an easy way to finish off the boss once he is roaming. If you're too high up, you can eat the rain of fire, so I try and stay pretty low. Goblins and harpies can come up to the ledge, so anarchy works great. Also, solar and void grenades can damage them just by hitting the side of the wall. You can slowly walk back up the ledge to jump up and use your super, then head back down. Off the far side, you can see either his head or his shoulder. Just keep shooting until he's dead. And that's how I easily beat the boss while solo. This also works for the lock and key mysterious box quest for Izanagis' burden, which has finally been fixed.
Cheese forever, Guardian!